Thomas, can you present yourself quickly and Ledger? What is Ledger for those? I don't know who knows Ledger and who doesn't know Ledger. Who knows Ledger already? Okay, so you have already
and
a nice. Who doesn't know?
Who owns the Ledger? Owns the Ledger?
Who's using Ledger?
So the market is not saturated yet.
Yeah, so
it's
that's
great.
To be here.
It's a lucky day. So yes. You've got 20? Okay, great. So yeah, I'm Thomas. I'm one of the founders of Ledger. So that was a question of the man behind, like about the security model of blockchain. It's true that it is very secure by design, and blockchain by its distributed nature is extremely secure. And there's a new paradigm from this central entity that provides trust. That needs to be secure to a model where the blockchain is secure, but the endpoint is not secure. So anybody who needs to access the blockchain is kind of his own bank. He needs to manage his keys, and that's a massive, big problem. So you know that there were a bunch of millions of coins that were stolen. Every day you hear about stories, people getting hacked or losing their coins, and that's the big problem we're trying to solve is bringing some tools, some infrastructure security tools for people to manage their crypto assets. So we founded the company back in 2014 in Paris. So it's a combination of different teams with some talents in the secure hardware industry, some entrepreneurs that share the same vision to build this product. We founded that in 2014, raised a bit of money. I moved in the US, so we've got some offices in Paris and San Francisco and a small town in south of Paris. And that's providing tools to secure this ecosystem. Our first initial focus was really towards like the consumer side. So crypto is an asset class that was mainly for a retail investor at the beginning. So it was people all over the world that had some value tied to some blockchain private keys that they needed to secure. The first product that we put was this Nano S, this hardware wallet. So basically little offline computer with a screen and two buttons that is managing your private keys and making sure that they are stored safely and that you can sleep safe at night, basically.
Yeah. I remember that in 2014-15 I was meeting this guy, and they were presenting some of their products, the early products, at some smart card security, so hardware security related expo and conferences, and all people were looking at you with big eyes, wondering what are you doing, and I guess it has been a nice journey now. You announced this year, I guess it was in January, that you sold more than 1 million of Nano S.
Exactly.
So great success.
So I think at the beginning people were indeed having their eyes very wide open, saying, "Oh, you've got this new virtual currency, and you need to have a physical piece of hardware to secure it." And people say, "It must be in the cloud. It must be on your phone. It must be on your computer." You're going backwards in the history, and it's true that it was clearly not obvious at the beginning. But as the value of these private keys started to rise, people started to understand that some absolute security is required, and clearly like secure hardware, smart card, HSM, those type of trusted hardware and secure hardware are the state-of-the-art tools to manage private keys. They've been doing that for ages in different industries, so for us it was a no-brainer that it was required. I think one of the reasons also it didn't take off instantly. So 2014, 2015, early 2016 was what we call like the bearish market, the nuclear winter of crypto. So the value of these private keys were not that important, and it was a very Bitcoin-centric world. So people who had some Bitcoin could, you can secure your coins in cold storage without a ledger. It's doable, but
you can put it on paper.
Yeah, you can put it on paper. It's engraved in the steel, so it's feasible. It's not convenient, and it's not accessible for my mother, for example, but it's feasible. But as you shifted from a Bitcoin-centric world to a world where there were numerous crypto assets, you needed now to store like multiple type of keys, multiple type of currency, new processes for each of the coins. And Ledger provided like a process, a simple process, so that you could manage a backup and have these keys like safe once and for all within a smart card, and then get access to different type of coins easily. So that's when it started really to take off. And 2017 with this ICO craze was totally crazy for us in a way that it was part of the toolkit for the crypto gold rush. In some ways, you needed to have your little ledger, your little Coinbase account to do so. So it was a strong journey, nice journey indeed.
So for those who don't know NOS, so we are a lot of crypto guys, and in particular those from the beginning, or at least from 2-3 years ago, saying that value of blockchain, Bitcoin, are keeping control of your assets. So that's well consistent with this. So what makes you move to a new product, a new offer, the Vault?
So basically, as this value of these assets started to grow, and as the type of investors started to change from retail investor to more and more like hedge funds, institutions who wanted to, get exposure to these crypto assets, start to try and tame it, understand it. So we actually had a lot of people that ended up like having like a couple of $1 million on some ledgers with some multi-sig processes, or and basically they didn't sleep well at night because they had too much money on these type of coins. So we want them to sleep well, so it didn't work out. And the NanoS is great, I think, for retail investors. It's a good solution to get into it. But as soon as you're an institution and you've got like some investors behind it, and you need to onboard some employees, you have some new type of risk. You've got the risk of kidnapping can happen, people coming in with a gun, send me your money. So that becomes a problem. It can be like insider theft from employees. There can be like some people targeted with phishing. So it was not convenient for like an enterprise type of scenario. And it was a big problem, a big problem in the market, like custody, self-custody, managing these keys in an enterprise context was a big problem. So we started to design this Ledger Vault product, and the key idea behind that is to be able to while keeping the control, the ownership of the keys, being able to create some governance processes, some rules on how the funds can be accessed. So the key idea is that you have like you proceed through a key ceremony where you generate some keys on some Ledger Blue, some secure devices that are securely loaded on an HSM, and the combination of these three master keys becomes your master private keys, based on which you can generate like different accounts for different type of cryptocurrencies. And for each of these accounts, you can define some rules on how the funds can be accessed. You can say that for this account, you want to make like a 5 of 7, you name 7 officers, you require a quorum of 5 for the transaction to be signed. You can add some rules such as rate limiting, time locking, whitelisting, basically to be able to design the right type of governance that is required for your business. So we started to work that last year. Announced it for consensus this year, and we have just signed like the early access program with 20 participants, among which SMART VALOR is part of it, to use this enterprise tool.
Yeah, I think this is really showing the maturity increasing in this industry, moving from something which was more for individual to something for enterprise. It's a very good sign, and we are very proud and happy to start the discussion with Ledger several months ago, to have first feedback on the Vault, and then to decide moving on the early access program, where I guess, and I see already a nice journey on working together to improve the Vault and to improve the way it works on our side as well. One of our main motivation within SMART VALOR is by using this kind of partnership, this kind of product, which is coming from a strong security provider, is not to develop everything by ourselves, is to use the best of what we can find on those on the offer from Ledger, also on NanoS. NanoS will also be connected to the platform for the individual users who wants to keep their assets on their own side, and I think it will be a very nice journey to working together on that. And we are, I don't know, we are probably among the smallest partners working on that, at least on those which have been announced. We have seen on the announcement you made on the at Consensus, quite big players, big capital ventures and some bonds, and yeah, that's.
How has this happened?
Yeah, because we had some great discussion very early on, and had a strong interest in the product and in getting like a great platform to build like a business on top of it. And I see that also like as a sign of maturity in the market. Is that it's very important, I guess, for me, for the market to focus on each strength. We've been always very focused on providing like the security infrastructure, not going like through the entire level and build some full stack products, but really focusing on where we're good at, and give a platform for other people to build on top of that, so that everybody can focus on their strength and build some more valuable products. You
mentioned your mother. Is your mother using NanoS?
Yeah,
what do you think of usability of those products today?
So my dad managed to set up his account, to set up all that. So it's like 50, 60. So, and yeah, so I think like in terms of usability, I think like this product it's a great product, and it was it's not there for prime time yet. So there's a lot of ongoing improvement, whether it be like on the software side. So there's a big revamp of the software application coming on the consumer side, coming in next week, actually on the 9th. And the product as well. There's going to be some bit of relift, and we take like a very big part of our focus on the user experience. So security is important, but you need to make like this security usable. So
this is
this phrase is always fun, to make security usable and usability secure. That's what we try to do at Ledger.
That's always a barrier that we can see in security industry, is that when it's not usable, you cannot go through the security features activity. And this is something that another piece is that we did not discuss that much, but I guess it's also a common view that we have to improve the usability of those platforms. So maybe we can take some questions, if you like.
When will your custodian solution be ready to go to market? And how much will it probably cost?
So again, the product is not a custodial product in a way that we provide an infrastructure for our customers to generate their keys securely and manage their keys. So we don't hold the keys. We, Ledger as a company, cannot have access to the keys, even if Ledger goes bust or is seized by the French government, let's say. You still are in control of the private keys, some backups, based on which you are able to recreate your coins in case of a catastrophic scenario. So it's not really like a custodial product. The plan is to be live by the end of the year, so October, most likely for the general availability.
Very well aligned with our plan.
Sorry?
Very well aligned with our plan.
And the early access program is starting like in the coming weeks, the first onboarding. And in terms of pricing, there will be like a setup cost and a cost, a monthly fee based on the assets secured by the solution.
There are some custodian solutions out there that cost a lot of money. And I'm just looking for a competitor that's going to disrupt that market.
It will
So
still cost some money.
Yeah, that's part of our strategy, is to provide this custodian service through the platform. So that's also why we are partnering with Ledger. Maybe we have a first question here.
Yeah, I just had a question. From this discussion, it seems like the security of a crypto wallet, another wallet, is kind of a solved problem. and we only have a problem of usability. Down in 2015, the estimate was 1 billion of the amount of bitcoins which were stolen or lost. From then on, there's not been much accounting, but there was an article or an interview of 50 top traders, and most of them said that most of the time people are stolen, cryptocurrencies, they don't say it for 3 reasons. Number 1, they will never find it anyway. 2, they will look like idiots. 3, they're self-flagging themselves for further hacks. So there's no quantification on this article with focus group may bring someone to conclude that there could be billions of dollars which are stolen through improper use of the technology, through vulnerabilities in the technologies. You have no idea what your CPU is doing. It's a black box. You have no idea about the fabrication. There are no independent certifications. So I see third parties everywhere. Trust the third parties everywhere. And in the scenario you said, you also have HSM makers and you have processes which are not certified. So I see like many trusted third parties which we have no clue about, and there's still a big problem.
So it's true that right now there's the difference between like this industry, industry like the banking industry or telecom industry, is that in these industry you need to have like a certified solution from the beginning. In blockchain, in Bitcoin, you don't need to have like a certification from the beginning. The idea is to make like a product that is as open as possible, as auditable as possible from the community, and we use like some secure hardware, and we have the right basis. So we use some chips from ST Micro, and we have the right infrastructure to go pretty deep in the certification aspect. So that's why we're building like a certification lab, an attack lab inside to test our product, to go through a certification process. And I guess like by the end of the year, we'll have some very early certification, and we want to go like to common criteria type of certification on the Vault product. It's based also, I say, on this type of foundational secure hardware product, based on which you can go pretty deep in the type of certification you can go on. So there will be like some certification, just like an ongoing process, and there's the right foundation to get this type of certification. That will give more confidence to the regulators, the different stakeholders, the investors. So that's just an ongoing piece that we're working on.
Sorry, you said that your CPU is verifiable, because last I checked, these CPUs by ST Microelectronics, you cannot check publicly their hardware designs, not their microcode, so they're not publicly available.
Yeah, but that's why there's some certification from third party.
So, but they're not openly, so you just have...
There's a small part that... Oh yeah, it's from this space as well.
Yeah. I mean, maybe we are going into something very technical, so we can maybe take this discussion for later. And I will be happy also to take part, because it's related also to what has been done in the smart card industry since many years, and it's part of the increasing maturity as well. We will see more and more exchanges which are being hacked every week today, following security practices, security standards, security process more and more, and it will be part also of increasing the trust in all the industry. So, but that's still something open, of course. Yeah.
So thank you very much, guys.
Thanks.
Pleasure.
Thank you.